Hi, trial socket day 2. Now, I don't think the socket is quite 100% correct yet. Still got a problem behind the knee somewhere, which we need to identify and rectify. But I'm hoping that we'll have it all sorted by the end of today. Now, yesterday was a massive day. I got up at 6:30 a.m. I did 3K. I then had a whole day's worth of limb fittings and physio appointments. I was stuffed by the end of the day. Now, I was going to get up this morning and go to St Clair because I love that pool, but I was just too tired. And I need to be mindful of the fact that I have to do possibly all of what I did yesterday and drive home as well. So I decided not to go. It broke my heart, really. But when I looked out the window, it wasn't actually raining, but it was blowing a gale. So it could have been quite interesting chop on the pool this morning. But we'll see how we go. If the limb centre fittings don't end up being all day long, I could still go before I leave. But I know that the long drive is quite tiring too, so I didn't go. Just checked out of the hotel and I'm about to go back to the limb centre for day 2 of physio and socket fitting. Now, I haven't mentioned the name of this hotel yet because of all the trouble that I was having. If you've been following these videos, you will have seen the trouble I've been having with disability access in this hotel. But I'm going to mention their name today because I am really proud of all the changes they have made to make their hotel rooms more accessible to the disabled. So what they now do, when you book a hotel room and ask for disability access, they'll contact you and ask you whether you need wheelchair access or not. If you specify you need wheelchair access, you'll get a different room to the other disabled rooms that they have. Now, the reason for this is because it's an old hotel with a newly built wing, and the disabled rooms in the old hotel aren't quite up to scratch, and it will cost a lot for them to renovate. So they've made all the changes as best they can, and they've got 2 levels of disability rooms. The older rooms, you wouldn't get a wheelchair into them, but you have got a shower seat, and they have taken some furniture out of the room to make it easier to get around, on my suggestion. Now, their newer rooms are the more recent disabled standards, sliding doors and knee access underneath the benches for the kitchenette and that sort of thing. And if you say you need wheelchair access, you'll get one of those rooms. So when I went in to ask them about this yesterday, I was really proud of what they said they'd done so far with the limited resources they've got and financial restrictions and stuff like that. And the fact that New Zealand's still got its borders closed to all the tourists, whatever. But he did promise me that if I was to refer people to them, then they would treat all the disabled customers that come in properly and better than they have before. So, what is the name of the hotel? The hotel I'm staying at is just 1 block away from the Limb Centre and the Dunedin Public Hospital, and it is the Victoria Hotel. Its website address is down here below. You can get them through their website and book online. It's nice and easy. So well done to the Victoria Hotel and all the management staff for actually listening to my feedback. I feel really pleased. Hello. So firstly today, I want to show you the socket they took off my previous prosthetic leg. They have reused the ankle, foot, ankle and foot, and they took everything else off so that that can be used for the next one, because all the parts are really expensive and some are really hard to get. We ordered a new limb sleeve in the end of November. Yes, end of November, and it still hasn't arrived. We're still waiting for that. So here is the socket that has been removed. Now, I've asked to keep this literally from a size referencing point of view, because I'm curious to see how it changes over time, with this one being the very first one. I can show you already how big it is, because, let me turn this around, I can do this. Look at that. So it's like, yeah, ginormous. So that's how big my socket is right now. It's a really interesting material. There is fabric on it. You can see the remnants there of the fabric. and the stitching at the back, and it's laminated. So I'm not sure actually what the actual material is, but yeah. So I'm going to keep hold of that just as a reference point. I'm not going to keep them all, I'll end up with hundreds. So today we went back to the limb centre. I had the physio back again, and I got the camera out to try and fix that walk. Now, I was managing to improve it, and what I had discovered was I was hitching one of my hips up, hitching the hip up at the side in order to clear the foot on the floor. And that is because I need to consciously remember I've got to push my leg back like I'm planting my foot on the floor behind me. That's what I've got to do with my left leg, and I keep forgetting. So what it means is the foot doesn't clear the floor, and so then I cheat and hip hitch. So the other thing that the physio thought I was doing with the hip hitch is it's a way of avoiding putting all the weight through it. So I did try and stand on my left leg. I still can't do it. It'll take a wee while to build that up, I would say. And then once I've managed to build the tolerance, I've got to actually balance without falling over. I did see somebody's video on Facebook the other day, and she was saying how bloody hard it is, and she's right, it is bloody hard. When your leg ends there and you're standing on something that ends over there, it is so hard. So I'll have to come back to that. So we decided that for now the best idea was to walk with one crutch. I absolutely don't need the other one, so guess what that means? I can now go and buy takeaway coffee and carry it to the car. Excellent. We also had a conversation about swimming, and I can take it to the poolside, take a towel, keep the shoe on. Easy peasy. So that means that I shouldn't actually need two crutches, and I shouldn't, whilst the leg's fitting okay, actually need wheelchair anywhere either, which is quite exciting. What else? So yes, the walking, we had to avoid doing this as well. And we were talking about the swagger and how that happened really fast when I went back for the afternoon session yesterday. And what I discovered was actually, without warning, suddenly my fatigue level was like, now there is you've got a lot to say for fatigue and how you get terrible form and all that sort of thing. I know this from being a personal trainer, but I hadn't expected it because I consider myself to be reasonably fit. So what I did then reflect on was the fact that I'd done 3K swim in St Clair Pool that morning. And I really didn't think it would be any problem, to be fair. Obviously it was. So in the future, when I've got physio appointments scheduled, I'm going to have to not swim on those days, because the amount of energy it takes, even when you don't realize it, to walk on a prosthetic, even if it's just something as simple as up and down the room, is incredible. I can't even describe how hard it is physically, and it doesn't feel like it should be. So it's really, I find it really frustrating, but it's just a fact. So the next thing I've got to do with my dear physio Joel is learn how to balance and stand just on the left leg. And then we are also going to fix the pull through so that I don't pull the leg out to the side as well, and that I don't hip hitch, and that the two legs walk evenly. I'm nearly there. I reckon in a couple of weeks I'll have got rid of the crutches. So whilst I was asking limb questions, I asked about the ankle, and he said the ankle does move. Now I didn't even know this. This is the same ankle I had last time, and it actually does move. Only a little bit, but it does. So wow. I went out to the car with the physio to get this because he wanted to take the bolt off the end because it was worth $250. I said, I don't need it, take it off. And I noticed walking down a ramp, an upper ramp with one crutch, the foot and how it behaves really threw me off when I went down the ramp, because the ankle doesn't flex the same way as your ankle does. And if you think about how you walk down a ramp, you'll move your ankle and use your calf to stabilize yourself. Well, I don't have either of those, an ankle or a calf. And so, yeah, that really threw me off. It's going to take some practicing. For some reason, walking up was no problem. So, yeah, that'll take a little bit of work, I think. So I leave without the leg once more. It's like tantalizing. They give it to you and then they take it away again. And we didn't need the afternoon session. That was a just in case. But he wanted to get started on it straight away because I've asked for a skin covering this time. It means that it will take slightly longer. And why did I do that? Well, I've decided the first time I wanted to try a leg that did not look like a leg. I rock this prosthetic, look at me. At this time, I am going to try a leg that is made more to look like a leg, so then I could decide which one I want to use. Now, if money was no object, then I'd have both, but I can't, so I've got to choose. At the moment, I've got to choose one or the other, so we'll see how we go with leg number 2. Speaking of which, I don't have to drive up to Dunedin again next week. They are going to send it to me in the post. So I'm wondering, is it going to look like the last one did? When I got it in the post, we'll see. And because I'm rural, I live rurally, the post will take slightly longer to get to me because it doesn't come straight to my door via the courier. It goes to the mailman and then he delivers it and blah, blah, blah. So I wanted the leg as ASAP. So we're sending it to my work. So I've warned the staff that a leg will come in the post, and the moment it gets there, they need to tell me. But I need to go and warn the people next door because I often put on courier mail, if we are closed, leave next door. So I better go and tell them I'm expecting a leg in the post. So the question is, it's due to come at the end of next week. The question is, will it arrive before I go to Wanaka for the Ruby or not? Now, I don't need it for the Ruby, but it'd be pretty damned cool if I had it in time for that. So we'll have to cross everything and hope that I do. Well, my rosy tinted glasses from this morning have been ripped straight off my face when I came into the Meridian Mall. So in the morning session, we were looking at the socket fitting and talking about how he tweaks it. And there are still some lumps and bumps in the trial socket, and that they're ironed out and sizes redone when he makes the real leg. We think we might have just about got there. He's going to post it to me, and I've got to walk around in it for a day or two and then call him to try and save me an extra trip up to Dunedin. So I went to the Meridian Mall for a bit of lunch before I left. That's where I am right now. And I got walked into, bumped into, backed into, tripped over. All of the food court vendors all have got counters that are up here and were ignoring me, and a lot of the signs on the hot plates I can't see, and the vendor is behind a glass cabinet on the other side in a busy mall and I can't hear him either. Then when I was trying to find somewhere to sit, well, not sit, a table, I've got everything that I've purchased balanced on my knee. Then we've got rude people pushing in to get seats before me and stuff like this. Oh, just feeling a little bit grumpy about the whole thing. Like everybody's taken leave of their manners and senses around here. Then it was just the drive home, and well, that was reasonably uneventful, apart from when I arrived at Edendale and the car in front of me turned right to go around the roundabout instead of left. It was sort of like a oh type moment. I went the correct way around the roundabout, and I don't know what happened next to the chap. I hope he didn't cause a crash. The time frame is to be walking full time on the new leg by a month from now. Hopefully it will last me that long. It bloody better well had. And that'll be quite cool, because that means then the wheelchair won't really be needed at all very much, and I'll be able to stop using the crutches and actually get my life back and ride a bike maybe, even if it's only in the garage. But I can't wait to try that with this new leg. That will be exciting too. So let's hope that the limb sleeve comes soon and I don't have to wait too long for that, and that the leg arrives before the end of next week so I don't have to go to Wanaka legless. And yeah, that was about the summary of the day. So I hope you had a lovely day wherever you were, and I will catch you all real soon. If you've got any questions, as always, holler. I love answering questions that are actually real questions. I am still working my way through what is New Zealand like. I am snipping it in here and there when I get a chance. So bear with me with that. I'll pop them in when here and there. So just keep an eye out for them. So have a great evening.